Hi, African Interiors. I'm Annabel Onyango, a fashion and interior stylist based in Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to my Nairobi sanctuary. Come in, stay a while. I was a fashion stylist for over 15 years in the Nairobi market. I worked in advertising, I was a personal stylist, I did celebrity styling, I was a fashion editor for magazines. I really did it all. And I felt like I had really reached the ceiling, and the pandemic was the nudge, the push I needed to help me transition into interior styling. And it's actually been a natural and organic transition for me because I see styling as interior styling and fashion styling as two sides of the same coin. So now I style spaces instead of people. The interior design scene in Nairobi right now feels like how I felt 20 years ago when I first started fashion styling. It just feels really dynamic, interesting, brand new. I feel like it's so wide open. There's so much potential. Every month there's new brands popping up, new products, new designers, new styles, new restaurants, new spaces that we're seeing that are really at a global standard. So yeah, I'm really excited to be really at the front row of all of this dynamism in the industry. What's also really gratifying is being able to create spaces for my clients where I really see them live in these environments that I've created, and it's really the best. How would I describe my fashion and interior design perspective? I feel like the older I get, the more solid I am about how I want to look, how I want to feel in my clothes, how I want my environment to feel and look as well, and those things run parallel to each other. 9 out of 10 times will wear made in Kenya, or at least made in Africa. I feel like wearing handmade, wearing things that are locally produced with sustainable materials. I feel like those products make me feel comfortable, make me feel most myself. And that pretty much is the same philosophy I have for interiors. I just really believe in handmade and artisanal products that are locally sourced. And there's a solidness and a quality about them that I think can't be replicated by things that are not that. Does my fashion background influence my approach to interior design? Absolutely. I feel like fashion styling and interior styling are two sides of the same coin. The same tones, textures, shapes that I look for in clothes are the same ones that I reference in interiors. I feel like I have to harness the same skills to do these two jobs. So yeah, that artisanal quality is what I'm looking for in both areas of styling, fashion or styling interiors. What inspired the design for my home? I would say my personal interior style is organic modern with a heavy African twist. What do I mean by that? A lot of the objects in my home are very handmade, very tactile, and it's very minimalist over here. Like there aren't a lot of pieces, but the pieces I have picked are very intentional and collected over years. Also, I have a pretty neutral color palette, so everything is very muted and calm. Somebody once described it as Afro-Scandi, which I think is a really good description. But yeah, everything is very muted, there are not a lot of pieces, they're all very considered, and nature is everything. Everything is natural products, materials that are locally sourced and by local artisans. I would say that my home has evolved just the way my wardrobe has evolved over the years. In my opinion, things don't really need to stay static. Like you can rotate things in and out You know, plants can change. There's little things that you can do about your home that changes the energy and that gives you like a fresh perspective on your space. So you don't have to have, you know, 10 years of the same thing. I think it's important to refresh your space just like it is important to, you know, refresh your wardrobe, just to make sure that that energy is still alive and that you're still in love with the space that you live in. Best interior advice I've received. I don't know about advice, but one thing I've learned in my practice as an interior stylist is always defer to nature, because at the end of the day, nature is perfect. All the tones, textures, colors, the feelings that come from nature, you replicate that and put that indoors, and it literally gives you that same feeling you have being outdoors. It's this perfect feeling. I would say the colors, tones, and textures that are found in nature, let those be your guide when it comes to putting your space together. So let me show you one of the favorite spaces in my house, this area. It's a dining room table basically repurposed as a catch-all for all the interesting things that inspire me and my children. We basically put everything here. Usually there's a pile of Lego as well, but I cleared that out for you today. I mean, literally like sticks. We collect these sticks from our garden and put them here. And it just gives us so much joy to see sort of nature in our house. It doesn't always have to be green plants. Like even the sticks inspire us and we love them, and sometimes they're just laid out there, sometimes we put them in a container, in a vase, but just having them there is like gives us joy enough. I love it. Even this, like a palm frond I found on the side of the road, and I just love it there. Like it's just such a beautiful thing to look at. I'm obsessed with it. This ceramic pot is handmade in Kenya by a brand that I really love called Erica's Antique. I really love this one. It reminds me of the Dogon style in West Africa, and I really love this black, matte black shade. I think it brings so much character. Then again, following with the black, I really love black. This is hand-blown glass by a company called Kitengela Glass that's based here in Kenya. And I collect a lot of their stuff. This is a fruit bowl. Look at this beautiful goblet. Look at this girl, how gorgeous she is with the earrings. She reminds me of me with the big lips and the earrings. And just these beautiful things just to collect and look at every day. I love them so much. And then we have like some shells there, which are memories from our beach vacations. I collect magazines, design magazines basically. Pamphlets from art shows that I've been to. I go to a lot of art openings, so I like to collect the pamphlets from that so that I can remember the artist and also just be inspired. And then newsletters from brands that I either work with or love. I keep them here because then they're top of mind for me, and I know that that I'm in a safe space with people who have the same philosophy as I do. So basically, this is where I work all day. This is my ground zero workstation. And I'll sit here basically every day after I drop my kids to school and ideate and conceptualize, think about what it is that I want to do, create design plans. I have my coffee, I have my music, and yeah, I love it here. I feel surrounded by the things I love, and that keeps me really productive. As an interior stylist and influencer, I collaborate with a lot of local homeware brands. These two chairs, for example, are by a brand called Kaa Hapa, and they're little baby rope chairs. I love them so much. They come literally in different sizes, one for my big kid, one for my small kid. They're indoor-outdoor chairs. They're really hardy. I've had them for years, and they're just so cute. I love them so much. Another collaboration is this table. This is one of my newest additions in my living room, and I am actually obsessed with this table. It's made from white oak, locally sourced. Look how shiny and gorgeous this oak is. It's by a company called Nemari Interiors. They didn't even wax it so that the color of the oak would really shine through, these silvery tones that are coming out that kind of matches the gray of the living room in general. I love this geometric kind of with the table on top of the balls. I really love it. It's a very trending design in interiors right now, but I just love that our interpretation is made from locally sourced white oak. I've styled the table with other objects that I have collected. This is from ceramic from a brand called Erica's Antique, and these are my anthurium flowers that I love so much. And it just kind of gives life to these objects. And every week or so, I switch out the flowers, so it's a completely different vibe. Here I have some shells that my kids collected on the beach. And having my kids kind of help me curate the space and adding their perspective to the space gives it, again, that personalized touch. Like, you can hire somebody to come into your house and help you with decor, but at the end of the day, you really have to kind of layer on your own personality to make it really your own and to make it a space that your family is so comfortable living in. Another collaboration I did recently are these lamps. I adore this lamp and I adore this company. It's a company called Afrodutch Collections, again based in Nairobi, very Afro-Scandi perspective that they bring. This is made of recycled newspapers, and they have a process where they really take weeks and weeks to mold these lamps. And sometimes, after 2 weeks of making the lamp, like, it'll crack and they have to start from scratch. So it's really a very involved process. But the finished product is so gorgeous. It's so organic, and it really speaks to, the sustainability part of the industry, where you really want to use materials that are sustainable and that still, look so beautiful and add so much soul into your space. I love this lamp so much that I actually have 2 of them. They're twins, but they're fraternal twins because they're completely different. They're both orbs, but they're different shapes. They have their own character and personality, and I love that because that means you can never get 2 of the same lamp because it's handmade. Thanks, Afrodutch. Another favorite corner of my house, I know I keep saying a favorite corner, but this is another favorite corner of my house, is this area. It's very light filled. It's flooded with natural light. And so I'm able to really keep a lot of greenery here. This is my 3rd baby. It's a fiddle leaf fig. I got it when it was a little seedling, and now it's grown into this giant human that I love so much. And it's just so happy here, and it's just growing, and I can't wait for it to reach the ceiling at some point, and then I don't know what I'll do with it. But I look after this fiddle leaf like it's another one of my children. I'm obsessed with it. This beautiful butterfly chair here made from cow hide is from a company called Blue Rhino. I had this piece custom made many years ago, again when I moved into this house. And it was always kind of floating. I didn't really know how to put it together, but since then you can see I've put all the cow skins together. This is actually a goat skin. I love, again, that bringing in natural elements, and I feel like goat and hide, like animal hide, how it gives such a beautiful kind of texture into the home. This, even though it looks matching, this was actually made on the side of the road, Gong Road of all places, which is an area where there's basically a bunch of artisans who make products, and I had this made to complement my butterfly chair. This beautiful lady right here was sourced in Accra, Ghana when I was there a couple of years ago. I love her so much. She adds so much character to the living room, and she just kind of watches over us and sits over here on top of these African interiors, what do you call them? Coffee table books. Some of these are gifted, some of them I bought. Again, collected items. This old chest is so worn and old, but I've had it for so long. And actually, the more it wears and tears, the more I love it. Again, no need to throw away old things, because it's almost like the older things get, they get this patina about them that makes them so much more characterful. And so, yeah, I love all this age that's showing on this box right now. And again, all the plants that really act like furniture in this house, all clustered in clusters of 3, which I love. That's a really good number to cluster items in, objects of 3. It's very visually satisfying. I mean, just to encapsulate it all, I'll point you to this piece of art over here that I purchased maybe 2 years ago by an artist called Masava. And I basically saw this painting, which is oil on a mabati canvas. Mabati is like iron, it's like sheet iron. And I saw this painting and I couldn't resist it, like I had to have it. And I couldn't really afford it at the time, and I kept going back to the artist, and we did a back and forth. And the fact that I knew this artist, who is somebody in my community that I could have a back and forth with and discuss the art, and then we could really relate on the subject of the painting. He has a son that looked like my son's, and we really bonded over that. I think that to me is what exemplifies Made in Kenya, Made in Africa. It means that I have direct access to the people who create these things, these clothes, these objects, these pieces of furniture. And the fact that I was able to eventually buy one of my favorite pieces of art directly from the person who made them, and that we are able to have this common ground, that we're both Kenyans and we both have kids and we're both in this community, I think for me is what makes it special. For sure, I feel like African consumers need to consume African art. Okay, so let's explore more of the house. Let's go to the TV room. Our family room. It's an extension of the great room. Everything is one open space. Again, lots of natural light. This is where my kids spend a lot of time, but we still try to keep it aesthetic. As you can see, these are some beautiful hand-carved stools that I have here. They're basically side tables that we can eat on, put our coffee, put our toast on. These mirrors, again, twins. This room is very funny because I have 2 kids, 2 boys who are almost the same age, so everything is 2, 2, 2, 2. I think that's really interesting. These beautiful mirrors I collected from the side of the road. Again, they're like twins, but fraternal twins. They're not identical, and I love them so much because what they do is that they basically blow out this wall and make the space look a lot bigger than it actually is. This beautiful lamp is from Ceramica Africa. I got the base. I loved it so much with the studs, and then got this lampshade customized to it, and I think it came out really beautifully. So yeah, then there's the mirrors, and then to complement them we have the vertical greenery, which is one of my signature styles that I love. Indoor trees. I love them so much. What these do is they hide the corners and take up the negative space. And I mean, you can't go wrong with greenery, guys. Every time you put a plant in, you can't lose. On this wall over here is another one of my favorite art pieces in the house, which is made by my oldest son, Kenzo. And I would say that it's one of my favorite art pieces. I keep saying favorite, but this is literally my favorite, how he depicted our home and homes, as you know, is what I work in. And so just to have his depiction of our home right there on the wall, I'm obsessed with it. This trunk over here is by a collective in Kibera in Nairobi called Masava, and they created this gorgeous custom-made chest, which I love so much. So colorful, and Masava are one of those little known collectives in Kibera that churn out such cool art. This is my kids' workstation. Again, not much to talk about here except that this is, actually there is a lot to talk about here. This is a vintage table. It's the famous tulip table, Saranen, and this is actually a real vintage piece. I love it. Look how worn it is. It was gifted to me, and it was sitting in my garage for a number of years, and then I salvaged it recently, and I love it. Again, the older it gets, the more I'm obsessed with it, paired with these 2 very contemporary plastic chairs. And then this, again, more greenery for my children to enjoy. This pot is by a company called Kuzi Trading, and they do these beautiful kind of abstract pots. So yeah, this is where we do our homework every day, and it's a cozy little nook for the kids.